Well, I came upon a spot that was simply the most beautiful spot I'd ever seen in my life. And I said at that time, if I ever had the power, I would build a house there.
The untold story of Robert Redford's life will shock you. From unimaginable tragedy to stardom, let's uncover the heartbreaking, sad truth behind the Hollywood legend. Robert Redford's life reads like more than just another Hollywood story. Born on August 18, 1936, in Santa Monica, California, he grew up in a modest home with his father, Charles, a milkman who later became an accountant, and his mother, Martha Hart. His early years seemed ordinary enough, but at age 18, he faced his first major loss when his mother died from complications following the birth of twin girls who didn't survive. This loss left a deep mark on young Redford, who later expressed regret about taking his mother for granted. In his younger years, Redford was known for being rebellious. Although he earned a sports scholarship to the University of Colorado, he had a hard time finding his way. He got into trouble with the law, including being arrested for stolen jewelry, and his drinking eventually caused him to lose his scholarship. After leaving college, he went to Europe to study painting, a choice that surprisingly led him to acting. In 1958, Redford married Lola Van Wagenen, beginning a relationship that would span nearly 3 decades. The young couple started with only $300 to their name, but their early financial struggles paled in comparison to the personal tragedy that awaited them. Their first child, Scott, died from sudden infant death syndrome at just 10 weeks old. The loss devastated the couple, though they rarely spoke about it publicly. Redford later supported Sid's research, hoping to prevent other families from experiencing similar heartbreak.
Gloves?
Yes.
Thanks. Take care.
They went on to have 3 more children, Shauna, Jamie, and Amy, but challenges continued to follow the family. Their second son, Jamie, was born prematurely with serious breathing problems caused by hyaline membrane disease. Though he survived, Jamie's health struggles persisted into adulthood. He developed ulcerative colitis and later needed 2 liver transplants. During the filming of Quiz Show, Redford flew to Omaha every weekend to be with Jamie during his hospital stays. Despite his recovery and successful career as a filmmaker and environmental advocate, Jamie ultimately died from liver cancer in 2020 at age 58, leaving another void in Redford's life. The family went through even more hard times. Shauna was in a scary car accident when her car went into the freezing Jordan River near Salt Lake City. She was saved by a brave person who jumped into the cold water to help her. Then, in 1983, Shauna's fiancé, Sid Wells, was killed in his apartment at the University of Colorado. The case was never solved, and the main person who might have done it disappeared, leaving the family without answers. Redford's career took off while his personal life faced many struggles. His big break came with the Broadway play Barefoot in the Park, which led to his first major movie role in Inside Daisy Clover with Natalie Wood in 1965.
It's not white. It's blue. If you pinch your elbow hard enough, it hurts like hell. This is not lilac talcum on these seats. This is dust.
This marked the beginning of an important friendship that would end tragically with Wood's drowning in 1981. Another personal loss that deeply affected Redford. His Ryanship in Hollywood was with Paul Newman, beginning on the set of Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid. Their on-screen chemistry reflected a genuine off-screen bond marked by playful pranks, including Redford gifting Newman a dented Porsche for his 50th birthday, only to have Newman return it crushed into a sculpture. When Redford's marriage ended in 1985, Newman provided crucial support. Newman's death in 2008 felt like losing a brother, adding to the list of personal losses Redford had to endure. But wait, there is more. Despite his success, Redford maintained a complicated relationship with fame. His striking looks sometimes worked against him, notably losing the role in The Graduate because directors thought he was too handsome to believably struggle with women. Frustrated with being typecast, he moved behind the camera, directing Ordinary People in 1980, which earned him an Academy Award for Best Director. In 1981, Redford founded the Sundance Institute creating a platform for independent filmmakers that would become his lasting contribution to cinema. The annual film festival in Park City, Utah has launched countless careers and transformed the landscape of independent film. Even after stepping down as its public face in 2019, Redford's commitment to nurturing new talent remains strong. As he approaches his 90th birthday, Redford has slowed down physically but maintains his passion for environmental causes and independent film. The athletic lifestyle he once enjoyed has given way to quieter pursuits at his Utah ranch. He spends time with his grandchildren and focuses on conservation projects, finding peace away from Hollywood's demands.
That's my opinion on all goddamn
His marriage to Lola ended in 1985 after 28 years, a separation both described as mutual but filled with regret. The demands of his career and extended absences had taken their toll, though they remained friends, united by their love for their children. Lola had put her own dreams on hold to manage their household and children's health issues, a sacrifice that ultimately contributed to their separation. Looking back on his life, Redford acknowledges that fame brought both opportunities and costs. His journey from a grief-stricken young man to a Hollywood legend who never lost touch with his humanity shows both the price of success and the power of resilience. Through personal tragedies and professional triumphs, he maintained his commitment to storytelling and environmental causes, creating a legacy that extends far beyond his acting career. Now, in his later years, Redford finds joy in simpler pleasures. Though his endless energy has been replaced by a need for more rest, his influence continues through the Sundance Institute and his environmental work. His story reminds us that even the most glamorous lives contain deep wells of sorrow and strength, and that true success lies not just in professional achievements, but in how we face life's challenges and use our experiences to help others. For future generations, Redford will be remembered not just as the charming star of classic films, but as someone who faced repeated personal tragedies with grace and turned his own pain into platforms for positive change. His life demonstrates how personal struggles can fuel a deeper purpose, transforming private pain into public good through art, activism, and unwavering dedication to causes greater than oneself.
At 74, Princess Anne has finally admitted what we all suspected. Her relationship with Princess Diana was far from easy. In a rare moment of openness, the famously stoic royal has broken her silence on the complex and often fraught connection between herself and the people's princess.
Princess Anne, at the age of 74, has finally broken her silence on a complex and often strained relationship that has intrigued royal watchers for decades. The Princess Royal, known for her stoic demeanor and unwavering dedication to duty, has addressed the tensions that existed between herself and the late Princess Diana. For years, speculation about the relationship between these two prominent royal figures has been rife. Their contrasting approaches to royal life and public duty have long been a subject of media scrutiny and public fascination. Now, in a rare moment of candor, Princess Anne has provided insight into the dynamics that shaped their interactions and the underlying factors that contributed to their differences. Anne's royal legacy and work ethic. Princess Anne has long been regarded as one of the hardest working members of the British royal family. Her approach to royal duties is characterized by a no-nonsense attitude and an intense schedule of engagements and charitable work. In 2023 alone, Anne carried out about 500 official engagements, more than any other royal family member except King Charles III. Anne's dedication to service is rooted in a belief that royal duty should be carried out without expectation of praise or public recognition. This philosophy stands in stark contrast to the glamour and media attention often associated with other members of the royal family. Anne's focus has consistently been on serious issues such as healthcare and international development. She has been the patron of Save the Children UK since 1970 and has visited over 50 countries in support of their work. Her preference for action over self-promotion is evident in her approach to these causes. The influence of Queen Elizabeth II is evident in Anne's approach to royal duties, Like her mother, Anne holds a traditional view of the monarchy and its role in society.
For decades, the tension between the two was the subject of speculation. It was whispered about within palace walls and sensationalized in the press.
Contrast with Diana's approach. The arrival of Princess Diana into the royal family in 1981 marked a significant shift in public perception of the monarchy. Diana brought a fresh energy and a new level of media engagement that captivated the public. Her charisma and ability to connect with people on an emotional level were unprecedented within the royal family. Diana's approach to royal duties often involved high-profile charity work and intimate interactions with the public. She was known for her hands-on approach, famously shaking hands with AIDS patients without gloves in 1987, challenging societal stigmas. Her work with landmine charities in Angola and Bosnia in the late 1990s brought global attention to the issue. Anne's reaction to Diana's approach was one of skepticism. She viewed the increased focus on personal image and media attention as a potential distraction from the core responsibilities of the royal family. Anne believed in working behind the scenes, focusing on substance rather than style. This fundamental difference in perspective led to a clash between tradition and modernization within the royal family. While Diana was seen as a breath of fresh air by many, Anne remained committed to the more traditional aspects of royal duty. The beginning of tensions, Diana's arrival. Diana's impact on the public perception of royalty was immediate and profound. Her wedding to Prince Charles in 1981 was watched by an estimated global TV audience of 750 million people. This level of public interest and media scrutiny was unprecedented for the royal family. For Anne, who had grown up with a clear understanding of royal tradition and protocol, Diana's approach to royal life was difficult to reconcile with her own beliefs. Anne's struggle with Diana's approach was rooted in her deep-seated belief in the importance of tradition, duty, and reserved dignity. Anne viewed Diana's openness with the media and the public as a departure from long-established royal principles. She was concerned that this new level of scrutiny could weaken the royal image and undermine the institution's ability to carry out its duties effectively. As Diana's popularity soared, Anne found herself and other members of the royal family being overshadowed. In 1982, a poll showed that Diana was more popular than the Queen. Respondents said they would prefer to read about Diana than any other royal. This shift in public attention was a source of frustration for Anne, who perceived Diana's actions as actively seeking media attention rather than focusing on the work at hand. Despite these tensions, Diana initially made attempts to connect with Anne. However, Anne's cool detachment and resistance to bonding created a barrier between them. The fundamental differences in their outlook and approach to royal duties made it challenging for them to find common ground. The turning point, Zara's christening, 1981. A significant moment that highlighted the growing tensions between Anne and Diana was the christening of Anne's daughter, Zara, in 1981. Diana's absence from this important family event was noted and interpreted by many as a slight against Anne and the royal traditions she held dear. For Anne, the christening was not just a personal milestone, but a royal occasion of significance. Diana's excuse for not attending, that she was preparing for a ball in her honor, struck Anne as indicative of misplaced priorities. A source close to the royal family later revealed Anne was deeply disappointed by Diana's absence. She saw it as a clear sign that Diana didn't understand the importance of family events in royal life. The presence of Andrew Parker Bowles, Anne's former romantic interest and Zara's godfather, added another layer of complexity to the situation. Andrew was married to Camilla, whose history with Prince Charles was already a source of tension within the family. The family's reaction to Diana's absence was one of quiet disapproval. For Anne, it marked a cooling of her relationship with Diana, reinforcing her perception that the younger princess did not share her commitment to royal duty and tradition. Understanding Diana and Anne's public relationship. In public, Princess Anne and Princess Diana maintained a facade of civility. However, keen observers in the media were quick to note the subtle signs of tension between them. Their contrasting styles were evident in public engagements, with Diana's warm and engaging approach standing in stark contrast to Anne's more reserved and formal demeanor. At official events, their interactions were often formal and lacking in warmth. During the 1983 Trooping the Color ceremony, photographers captured images of Anne and Diana standing side by side on the balcony of Buckingham Palace, their body language noticeably stiff and distant. The media's portrayal of their relationship often emphasized these differences, casting Anne as the embodiment of traditional royal values and Diana as the face of a more modern and accessible monarchy. Media described Diana as the people's princess, highlighting the contrast in their public personas. This narrative had a significant impact on public perception, shaping how people viewed not only Anne and Diana, but the monarchy as a whole. The juxtaposition of their styles became a metaphor for the changing face of the royal family in the late 20th century. Rumors and revelations, Anne's reactions to Diana's challenges. As Diana's personal struggles and mental health issues became public knowledge, Anne's initial reaction was one of skepticism. Her traditional view on handling personal issues privately clashed with Diana's more open approach. Diana's candid admissions about her struggles with bulimia and depression, first revealed in Andrew Morton's 1992 book, Diana: Her True Story, were met with shock by many in the royal family, including Anne. Anne's perspective began to shift gradually as the extent of Diana's challenges became clearer. The 1995 interview, in which Diana spoke candidly about her struggles regarding her marital life, had a profound impact on Anne's understanding of the situation. In the interview, Diana famously said, "There were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded." This revelation led Anne to reconsider her earlier judgments. She began to recognize the depth of Diana's struggles and the positive impact that Diana's openness had on public discussions about mental health. Anne's private regrets following Diana's passing. The tragic death of Princess Diana in 1997 had a profound impact on the royal family, including Princess Anne. In the aftermath, Anne entered a period of deep personal reflection, reassessing her relationship with Diana and her own approach to royal duty. Anne realized that there had been missed opportunities for support and understanding. She began to question her own judgment and approach, recognizing that her adherence to traditional royal protocols may have created barriers in her relationship with Diana. The Princess Royal also came to acknowledge Diana's lasting impact on the monarchy. Diana's ability to connect with the public and bring attention to important causes had changed the way the royal family engaged with the world. In the years following Diana's death, the royal family, including Anne, made efforts to adopt a more open and accessible approach to their public roles. This period of reflection led to subtle changes in Anne's demeanor and outlook. While she remained private about her regrets, those close to her noticed a softening in her approach and a greater emphasis on empathy in her public roles. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to James Goodman for more interesting videos.
The 1986 album Control that she struck gold.
Janet Jackson finally reveals shocking secrets about Michael's life that the world never knew. Janet claimed that Michael forced her to help him fake his death. What really happened behind the scenes of his fame and struggles? Why Michael want to fake his death? This will change everything you thought you knew. Let's take a closer look.
When I was 7, I don't ever remember being asked. I just remember doing it. As far as making music, we had a studio at home growing up, and whatever time of night, day, couldn't sleep at night, you'd go in the studio and you'd just create music, put something down if you had an idea.
Before we move forward, let's go back to where it all started. In the small town of Gary, Indiana, 1958, the Jackson story began in a tiny 2-bedroom house where dreams were as big as their family. Michael Jackson grew up with 9 brothers and sisters, all squeezed into a home where music played from morning until night. Their mother spent her days playing clarinet and piano, holding onto her own dreams of becoming a country singer. Joe, their father, worked hard as a crane operator and had been a boxer, skills that showed in his tough approach to raising his children. The house may have been small, but it was always filled with sounds, singing, dancing. and the constant practice that would one day make the Jacksons famous. Every corner of their home held memories of early performances, shared dreams, and the strict discipline that shaped their future. Growing up as a Jackson meant living a very different life from other kids in Gary. While neighborhood children played games and went to school, the Jackson children spent hours practicing their singing and dancing. Their father Joe made sure they never wasted a minute. Every spare moment was spent rehearsing. The family's tight living space meant there was no privacy, but it also created strong bonds between the siblings. They shared everything: clothes, toys, and the dream of something bigger than their small town could offer. Music wasn't just something they did for fun. It was their whole life, their ticket to a better future, and the thing that kept them together through hard times. Joe's strict rules and harsh punishments became a dark cloud that hung over their childhood memories. By 1963, the Jackson Five had started performing at local talent shows, with 5-year-old Michael already showing signs of being a natural star.
Creeping up on the backside of you here. Oh. Kip, I've got a little bit of a problem with this microphone. It's all snagged in the back, so I'm going to take this one if that's all right with you. Would you make a fast change? Hello, hello. How about that? I'll put this over here. It's one of these formal shows where we do everything. Would you be kind enough to introduce me to your brothers, starting with the gentleman on the end with, is it a bass or a guitar? I can't see. Guitar.
Guitar. Okay, first we have...
Can I get with you on the mic just every now and again, you know?
Toriano Jackson.
It's nice to see you. Who's the man over here?
Marlon.
Hi. And the next man?
And Jackie.
Hello, Jack.
Jermaine.
Hi. Now, let me ask you a question. I'm going to steal it. I feel very naked without a microphone. I've been holding one of these things, punching it at people for a long time. Two gentlemen in the back are not your brothers, though they're related, are they not?
Right.